Hi everyone, it's Delaney, and I'm back with another art project for you this week. So back in the fall, we made turkey paper bag puppets. So now that it's winter, I figured we would make penguin paper bag puppets. And in the end, it will look something a little bit like this. So all you'll need is a paper bag, some construction paper. You'll need black, orange, and white as the colors. You'll need scissors, some glue, a pencil, and a black marker. So gather all your materials and we'll get started. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing you'll need is a brown paper bag. You're going to hold it with the bottom end at the top. And then you'll also need some construction paper. To make a penguin, you'll need black, white, and orange. And then you'll also need some writing utensils, a black marker, a pencil, and I have a white color pencil so you can see when I'm drawing on the black paper. And then the last two things you'll need are some glue and some scissors. So our first step is going to be creating the body of the penguin, and for that we're going to be using the black colored paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the paper bag on top of the black piece of paper, and I'm going to take my white color pencil and trace the paper bag. So I'm going to line it up with corners so that I have a straight edge. So as you can see, the corner of the paper bag is aligning with the corner of the piece of paper. And it doesn't have to be exact, but try and get it as close as you can. And once you have that lined up, you're going to take your pencil and you're going to trace the outside of the paper bag. And when you do this, you'll have the exact shape and size of the paper bag for the pieces of the body that you're going to glue on. So as you can see, I'm just tracing along the sides of the paper bag. That way I know the exact shape that I need to cut out. And now that I've done that, I'll show it to you right here. As you can see, I've got a nice rectangle on the corner of my paper. And now that I've got that, I need to cut it out. So I'm going to cut along the white lines that I drew so that I have a perfect rectangle in the shape of the paper bag. Alright, and now that I've got that cut out, I'll show it to you. I now have a nice rectangle that is the perfect size for the paper bag. But in order to make it a puppet, I need to be able to move the mouth. And having one large piece won't do that. So I need to cut this piece of paper into two, but it won't be an even half. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line up the paper bag and the paper side by side. And in that little fold right there where the mouth would open and close, I'm going to draw a line. That way I know where to cut. So I'm going to draw a little white line on one side of the paper, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to move it to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side of the paper. I'm going to line it up against the side so they're standing side by side, and I'm going to draw a little line on the side there. And what I'm going to do then, I'm going to connect these lines so that it forms one straight white line in the center of the paper. So as you can see, I've got two rectangles in the middle of my paper, and I'm going to cut along this line so that these two pieces are separated. Alright, and now that I've cut that, you can now see that I've got two pieces for the penguin's black body. I've got the one piece that will go underneath and the other that will go on the head, that way the mouth can still move. So I've got those laid on my paper bag, and I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to move on to the details of the penguin that will make it more recognizable. So some of the features that we're going to do are the belly of the penguin, its beak or little nose, and the eyes. And if you want, you could also add two flippers on the side, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So we're going to start with the pieces that go on the white paper, which is the belly and the eyes. So first I'm going to do the belly, which is basically a long round oval that looks something a little like that. And once I've drawn that, I'll show it to you at the camera, and it should look something a little like this. And now that I've got that drawn, I'm going to use my scissors and cut it out. Okay, and now that's cut out, I'll show it to you. Here's what it looks like, and I'm just going to place it onto the penguin's body like that, so it's ready to be glued. And the next thing we're going to make with the white paper are the two eyes. And all you need to do for this is just draw two little circles. They can be as big or as small as you want, just as long as they're two circles of the same size. And once you have them drawn, like I do here, all you need to do is cut them out. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got my two eyes, and I'm going to place them right there so they're ready to be glued. And I'm not going to worry about the black part of the eye, the pupil. I'm going to draw that on with a marker. And now we're going to move on to our orange colored paper, and we're going to draw the beak of the penguin. So this one, all you need to do is draw a triangle. My triangle is going to be a little bit rounded, but it can be sharper on the edges if you'd like. But all you need to do is draw a simple triangle. It could be big or small. Mine looks a little like this. And then all you need to do is cut that out as well. Okay, and now that that's cut out, I'll show it to you. I've got the beak of the penguin, and I'm going to place it exactly where I like on the paper bag. And now the last step is going to be adding some flippers onto the side. This step is optional, but what you can do, you could take your extra brown paper, and I'm going to use the white colored pencil to draw on it. And all you have to do is just draw two ovals about the same size. They don't have to be very big, but just two ovals of around the same size to go on the edges of the paper bag. So my two ovals look like this. They don't have to be perfect. And then once you have those drawn the way you like, go ahead and cut those out. All right, and once your flippers are cut out, mine look a little like this, you can place them where you want on the penguin's sides, just as long as they're hanging off the edge a little bit. All right, and now that all your pieces are cut out and placed the way you like them, you can now start to glue them down. So you can take off all the pieces that you have, and you can start gluing down the pieces, starting with the large black pieces of construction paper and ending with all the details. All right, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit, but feel free to pause it if you need more time. I'm going to stop with the fast forwarding when I get to the beak and the flippers so I can show you how to glue them down and still have them hanging off the edge. Alright, so with the beak, you want to make sure that when you move the mouth, the beak will move as well. So when you glue it on, you want to look for where the mouth is separated, which should be right where you cut the black construction paper, and you want to place it so that it hangs just off the edge, kind of like what we did with the turkey puppet, if you remember, but just so that it's hanging off the edge so that it moves when you move the mouth. So we're only going to put glue on the long edge of the triangle there. So as you can see, I'm putting my glue only as a line right there. That way, when I glue it down, only that part will stick to the paper. All right, and now you can see the beak hangs just over where the mouth is so that when you move your hand to make the penguin talk, the beak will move with it. And now the other part is the flippers, and so to hang them off the edge, you only want to put glue on one part of the flipper. So you only want it maybe on like the top quarter of the flipper. So when you flip it over, just put glue on one part. That way it will stick to the paper on one spot instead of the whole paper. And you're going to do this with both sides. That way you have the two flippers hanging off the edge of the penguin's body. And once you have all those pieces glued down, I'll show you what that looks like. It looks something a little like this, but we're still missing one part, and that's the pupil of both eyes. So we're going to take a black marker, and we're going just to draw two black circles in the white circles that we cut out. You could do this out of black construction paper if you want, but I think a black marker is easiest. And once you have drawn those in, your penguin puppet is now complete. Alright, and we're done. As you can see, this is how mine turned out. And if you want to work your puppet, all you have to do is open up the bottom and put your hand inside, and then you can move his mouth with your hand. So I hope you enjoyed the project. If you need to, go ahead and rewind the video to rewatch steps, and post a picture of your finished puppet into the art folder because I'm really interested to see how your penguin puppets worked out. So I'll see you next week with another project. Bye.